Let's talk about adding vectors in 2 dimensions, okay? As with normal vectors or any other vectors, even if it's in 1 dimension, you're always going to add them tip to tail. What does that mean? Well, that means wherever you left off of your first vector, then you're going to continue with your next vector. And I'm going to show you that in a second, okay? Please avoid what I like to call teleporting, okay? It doesn't exist yet, so you can't do that yet, okay? Also, please keep in mind we are going to be using the unit circle for our directions, okay? And the x direction to the right is 0, to the left is 180, and the y direction up is 90, and down is 270, okay? So here's an example for you. I have two vectors, 10 kilometers at 0 degrees and 15 kilometers at 270, and I'm adding them together. I have a preference. Whenever I am doing vector addition in 2 dimensions, I always like to add the x direction first and then the y direction. You don't have to do it that way. It just makes the math more consistent every single time, okay? And that's a preference depending on who your instructor is, okay? So the first thing I like to do is determine what direction is this actually going in. Well, I know 0 degrees by looking at my unit circle is to the right. And then 270 is down, okay? So that just helps me remember, oh, this is what I'm going to be drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my first arrow of 10 kilometers. Try your best to be relevant with, or realistic with your sizes of your arrows, okay? The 10 should not be longer than the 15, if that makes sense, okay? Notice how I just kept going right from where I left off. Please do not go like this. This is not allowed. That's what I like to call teleporting, okay? It's from where you start, walk, and then continue walking from there, okay? This is the correct way to draw vector addition. The sum, the vector sum of this is called the resultant vector, and that is your hypotenuse. Okay, I like to label it R for resultant. You can label it whatever you like, okay? The angle at the beginning is your direction, because you can't just say positive or negative or left or right or up or down, because now it is on a diagonal. So you have two directions at the same time. I like to use the unit circle. I think it's easier that way. Some people like to use northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, etc. If you're in my class, this is what we're going to do, okay? So some helpful reminders. Remember that your resultant is the shortcut, so it always goes from start to finish. Also, your angle, your reference angle, is always going to be at the starting location, okay? The red line is the long way, the purple line is the shortcut, okay? Now, I need to find the magnitude of the resultant. Magnitude means number or value, basically the length of the arrow. And I'm going to do that by using everybody's favorite Pythagorean theorem. Okay, remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The c is always the longest side, aka the hypotenuse. This is just the algebraic rearrangement of that. Please don't freak out, math. Please don't freak out, okay? Just math, I promise.